Hi there. So my name is Tonbra, and I'm part of the media mountain of influence. And I'm basically going to be talking about podcasting. Yes, podcasting as a medium to get our message out there. Um, so, for those of you who may not know a lot about podcasting as and the opportunity that it presents, a podcast is essentially a vehicle, a way of getting curated content, which is either on a video file or an audio file to people. It's put on the internet in installments or in short bursts, and it can be received by subscribers automatically. So essentially, a podcast is a way to package your message in a way that is refined and make it available for a global audience who then become a raving fan base. So, what is not to love about podcasting? Podcasting is great. It presents a unique opportunity in this day and age for you to essentially become your own media agency. Gives you global agency to be able to speak. You don't need someone to put a mic in your hands. You essentially become the decision maker, and you get your word out there. I love podcasting because one of the benefits of podcasting is that um it definitely is a modern media means, and helps you develop content that is true to you, and helps you get found outside traditional social media. It has good SEO benefits. Yeah, podcasts are amazing, basically. So I want to kind of encourage you. um, there's going to be a slide pack as part of this presentation that kind of goes into detail on what podcasting is and what it can do for you. So I'd love to for you to take some time out to watch that, because it goes into the detail of what you need, the equipment you need, and all of that. But I think the key thing for you to I want to leave with you is just that understanding that the barrier to entry for podcasting is super low. You don't need much. You don't need any of the high tech gadgets or anything that you would need as part of the sort of traditional media means. All you need for podcasting really is a mic. Some people don't even use like a mic in a conventional sense. You've got Anchor on your phone. So Anchor is an app that you can use um, to host your podcast. So you can use Anchor on your phone, and essentially your message is out there. However, if you wanted to, properly create it differently or do it differently, you can have a mic, but it doesn't have to be anything expensive. So this is the important thing. The cost for podcasting is relatively is considerably low, which makes it which offers great potential for people who are looking to leverage it as a means to get their word out there. So I definitely would love to encourage you to 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 do podcasting. There are over 850,000 active podcast listeners across the world. So it creates valuable channel. It's a valuable channel for growing your audience. Um, there are also It's also known that about 50% of podcast listeners across the world, all millennials, so young people. So that is definitely presents an opportunity for us to catch the new generation, the upcoming generation. Those are the people that are more likely to listen to podcasts. So definitely, it's something that we should all be leveraging. So in Nigeria already, as is, there's so many people already listening to podcasts. So it's we're not quite there in terms of how widespread it is, but what it is, it's an emerging area. And when I say emerging, it means that it's an area that over in the next couple of years will grow significantly, where people will know more about podcasts. So the time to get podcasting, if you're Nigerian particularly, is now. Is now, and we should be using every we should be using it as a means to get the word of God out there. I was looking at the most downloaded podcasts in Nigeria, the top 40 most downloaded podcasts in Nigeria, and only a couple of them were actually, faith-based material or faith-based content. Probably less than in the top 40, I'd say maybe about 20% faith-based. So you know what? That means there's 80% of podcast listeners in Nigeria, well, relatively in relative terms, who are consuming podcasts, but may probably want a bit of a variation from may have been swayed for if there was faith-based content, but maybe they didn't have any options, and then they decided to listen to what they listened to. But the point I'm making here, I hope you're paying attention, is that it is an emerging market. It's an emerging, it's emerging. So it's something that definitely we should all be considering and influencing that mountain. Yeah, so that's it essentially. I know I had one more thing to say. A couple of people will feel that, some of the obvious, maybe some of the drawbacks, shall I say, well, when people, some of the myths around podcasts, it's like people feel like, what if I do it? Is my message that significant? But the truth is that it is who would listen to it is another one that always comes up, like who's going to listen to this, anyone interested in that? But the truth is that if you do it, that the people who need that message, they definitely will come. So you want to make sure that you are putting the content out there that is relevant. And I think the key thing is that you're empowered to do so. You're empowered to do so. You don't need anyone's permission to become a podcaster. So you get in there and you get your message out there, and you are open to a global community. Like, people out there will find you. I started my podcast in September. So I've got a podcast. Name of my podcast is the Unscathed Life Podcast. And what Unscathed Life Podcast hones in on people who are have experienced setbacks in their lives, who are living less than their potential. So that is the podcast literally serves them, in the sense that it brings or equips them with the knowledge and the tools to be able to manifest their highest selves, is what I call it, living unscathed, the manifestation of your highest self, regardless of circumstance, to be able to push beyond adversity and live as the highest expression of themselves. So that's what I do on the Unscathed Life Podcast. I've only started it in September, but the appetite is there. That's definitely what I'm seeing. I go on there, I talk, and people can't seem to get enough. So I definitely want to encourage you. I hope that this conversation at least has opened your mind a little bit more to podcasting as a means, and kind of almost challenges you in a way as to the opportunities around it, and encourages you through the training on how to actually do it, because it's within you. You definitely can do it. So yes, that's essentially it. My name, as I said at the beginning, is Tonbra Muswago. If you've got any support or questions or anything like that, do feel free to, shout out at the bottom of this video, I suppose. But yeah, thank you very much, and definitely start your own podcast.